Crus fidelis in te omnes arboruna nobis, nulla talens illa profane.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gerard Cabrera, and I'm going to be reading to you from my novel called Homo Novus. Homo Novus is a story about a priest, a Catholic priest, and the younger, at the time, boy who grows up to become a man, whom he seduces and abuses as a young person. And it shows their relationship as they go over the course of years. So the part that I'm going to be reading to you now is earlier in the novel when one of the main characters, or Orlando, is remembering when he first met Father Linus, who is the other main character. So thank you very much, and I'm going to read. Orlando couldn't figure out how this one priest, a big shot from the diocese, had ended up with such command over him. From freshman year to sophomore, he'd gone from being special to having special needs. Was that an oxymoron? He'd gotten C's and C minuses his first year. Not the worst, but Father Joe thought he could use a little extracurricular help to boost his averages. Besides, Orlando was from Brightwood, and wasn't that in Springfield? Well, Father Linus was from Springfield too. The little group groaned over their compositions, but Father L would have none of it. Okay, boys, let's get to work. All heads would lower, and the scratch of pencils was the only sound for minutes. Father L would circle the big polished library table, but linger over Orlando to point out his errors in a disappointed tone. It's ask, A-S-K, not ax, A-X. He would shake his head. Fall dragged on, and Friday sessions continued. Bonfires and dry leaves and apple cider at Halloween, sweaters, and one morning you could see your breath puff in the cold Berkshire air. Other students improved their averages, but Orlando's stayed in the cellar. He was the neediest of low grades with Father L, who could see right through him, it seemed. Orlando had begun to believe that popularity and friends were shallow things, candy and whatnot, for fools and numbskulls. Winter came, and the group thinned out, except for him. It became a private lesson. The time switched to Saturday afternoons after lunch, when you could do what you wanted. They began to meet in the librarian's office. With the door open, they'd sit next to each other at the small desk, surrounded by stacks of books that needed to be cataloged or reshelved, books towering so high it was hard to tell if they were in the office at all. Only Father L had permission from the librarian to use the office, and only Father L had the dedication and patience to instruct him like that on his own day off. But their work began to show results. Orlando was thankful when he began to give him passing grades. He began to call Orlando buddy. Their sessions became less harsh, and they laughed more. It was a miracle, Orlando thought. He was improving, and so he let Linus touch him, because how could he not? Linus was driving up to see him almost every weekend. What a sacrifice he was making for him. It began with quick hugs, and the hugs lasted longer. Then little pecks came next, on the cheek first, then straying to the lips. Oh, it felt weird, but his cologne smelled good, and Linus had him hypnotized with his handsome face and smile and the language arts and algebra they reviewed together in the workbooks. And what he did to Orlando didn't hurt. He figured it was like the poems they went over. They had to be opened gradually, Linus explained, like a gift you had to keep unwrapping. And when his tutor first sucked his thing and ran the edge of a fingernail along his bolas until they grew tight like two baby fists, the release of sperm, such a surprise, like burst water balloons on a hot summer day, the pleasure and feeling scared, but proud too, the release of all his worries about school and his mother and his father, and he couldn't say what else exactly, but it seemed everything would evaporate in that minute. Even then, he didn't understand it for what it was. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy reading Homo Novus.